to episode 49 of the Lonely Knitter podcast. My name is Laura and welcome to my knit night. Today's date is, I don't remember, Sunday the 25th of August, and it's 5 to 10 at night. So I just got back from a birthday meal for my brother-in-law and I was like, should I record now, really late, or should I wait until tomorrow? And then there was this little bit of me that was like, Chris is perfectly happy staying up. I'm in our bedroom, you're sat on bed. Chris is perfectly happy staying up and playing FIFA for a bit and watching Match of the Day, so I'm going to come up here and do this, because otherwise we get a day late and then I have less time to knit next week, and yeah. Anyway, so jumping ahead of myself, my name is Laura. This is where I come to talk about knitty chat. So if you are a new viewer, thank you so much for coming and checking me out. I am from Lowestoft in the UK. It's in Suffolk, in the most easterly point of England. And if you are a returning viewer, you already knew that. And thank you so much for coming back. I'm one episode away from episode 50. 50! And I know I said that I wasn't going to do a giveaway until 750 subscribers. I'm wondering if I should dig something out for episode 50. Let me know. What do you think? Should I wait for 750? Or should I do a episode 50 giveaway? I think I know what the answer might be, but just, you know, tell me anyway. So before we carry on, before we go any further, I need to give some shout outs. So if you have been watching recently, you will know that I have set up a Patreon account. It was something that I really thought about before I did, and I decided to do it because I don't have a lot of spare cash, and doing giveaways, I tend to get some really lovely things from people to give away on the podcast, which is so lovely, and they usually send those things to me and then I post them on. But sometimes my giveaways are out of my stash, and I don't have the most giant stash when it comes to gorgeous hand-dyed yarns and lovely things that I actually really want to give away, because quite a lot of it is special to me and I want to use it. So when it comes to giving away my own things, I don't always have the biggest pile to pick from, and postage, even when people send me things as giveaway prizes, I still have to pay postage to send them on to you. I only work part-time. The rest of the time I am mother to my toddler, and at home looking after her, and yeah, I don't have a massive budget for the podcast, and disposable income budget. So I decided to set up a Patreon account which would give whoever wants to sign up a few extra benefits for a monthly cost. So there is a $1, $2 and $5 tiers, and you get different things for each of those. And as part of that, I do a range of things, but one of those things is to make sure that I shout out for my amazing patrons on the podcast. So this week I just wanted to say thank you so much for Emma, Joanne, Alice, Lisa, Rose, Katie, Sophie, Audrey, Karen, Hannah and Verity. You guys signed up, which not only made me feel so much less scared and nervous about doing this, because I was really scared, but you're also making it possible for me to do the fun things with the podcast that I really want to do and that I can't always necessarily do. And yeah, so $2 and $5 patrons get all of my patterns that are on Ravelry for free. Get a download code every month to get those all for free. And $1, $2 and $5 patrons all get an entry into an extra quarterly giveaway. And if you're a $5 patron, you also get another entry into a 6-monthly special $5 patron giveaway, as well as some extra video content depending on which tier you're in. So I'm going to talk about something today that the $5 tier patrons also got. So that's my thank yous out of the way with. My ordinary podcast, usually weekly, sometimes goes a bit haywire, but my normal podcast is still up for everyone. I totally appreciate that not everyone can sign up to Patreon. To be a patron, I can't sign up to everyone's Patreon accounts, and the ones that I do sign up to, I don't sign up to the highest tier because I just haven't got that cash at the moment. But yeah, you never know, one day that might change and I'll be able to do so much more. Anyway, into the knitting. I think that's most of the things that I was going to talk about. Oh, you can find me on Instagram as The Lonely Knitter. You can find me on Ravelry as The Lonely Knitter 2. You can also find the Lonely Knitter podcast group over on Ravelry as well. And that tends to be where I hold my giveaway draws when I do them, though I will always mention them on the podcast first. And there's also a finished objects thread there for the shawl along, which I am running with my friend Katie of the Geordie Knits podcast, and we are also running it over on our Facebook group, which is Knit Along with Geordie Knits and the Lonely Knitter. And yeah, that's just an amazing group where everyone goes to chat about anything, so it's not just the shawl along, it's just any knitting, or sometimes even not knitting. But it's just a really lovely, friendly group. So yeah, I think that now is all of the admin-y things. Into the knitting. So, finished objects. I have more than one. I have more than one finished object this week. Boom. My sock blockers are over there. Now, normally I would get off my arse and go over there and get the sock blockers. I'm on the floor. I'm sat on the floor. I'm sat on the floor between the window and the bed. This is a small space. I am like 22 and a half weeks pregnant. I'm not getting the sock blockers. I'm lazy. I'm not getting the sock blockers. It's so hot here. I don't know if you're in the UK. Today has been a ridiculously hot day, to the point where my 2-year-old told a complete stranger that she didn't want to hold my hand because my mummy is a sweaty Betty and needs a shower. Welcome to my life. Like, I don't even know what to say to that. It was true. I couldn't like say anything against that. I was just like anyway, first finished object is these socks. So I think last week I had a hoe and showed you one, and this week I have a pair. So these are West Yorkshire spinners, and I think this colourway is Rum Paradise, but it doesn't say it on the ball band. I just found that online. I have quite a bit of the ball left. That's the ball band, it's just West Yorkshire spinners signature 4-ply, and I managed to match them completely, even down to like literally completely. I didn't have to cut it at all. It lined up perfectly. Love West Yorkshire spinners for striping. And yeah, it's just my normal vanilla sock, approximately 20, 22 sometimes, 2x2 rib cuff, and then 40 rounds for the leg, heel flap and gusset, 50 rounds for the foot, and then a wedge toe. So I have more socks to go in my box of socks, which I'm not going to show you this week because I didn't bring it over here. Same deal as the sock blockers. Lazy. Hot and sweaty. Pregnant. I was fat before I was pregnant as well, so anyway. Second finished object is something that no one has seen on the podcast yet. I knit a sweater this week. It is a sweater for a newborn, so therefore it's teeny tiny, but it's still a sweater. So this is the Simpler Sinister sweater by Marna Gilligan, who is going to butcher it because I definitely can't say it right, and Kitten Biog. Had a go. Maybe one of those was marginally close, but have a little look. Most people on Ravelry, if they want to see it, Sinister Cat. Put Sinister Cat anywhere, you will find it. But yeah, there's the Sinister Cats, and I had seen, definitely doesn't fit me, I had seen Gemma of the Project Bag. She has a podcast and she also has a business. She sells yarn and other project bags and stitch markers and all sorts. She has knit one as, I believe, a sample for Perth Festival of Yarn. She's going to be having kits for these sweaters at Perth Festival of Yarn, and I said, oh, I will buy the yarn at Perth to make one for my little boy, because I am pregnant with a little boy. And then she was doing it on sort of a time trial to see if she could knit one in 24 hours, and I was like, I want to knit one now, and I want to see how quick I can knit it. So I got some of this Stylecraft Batik DK, yes, in the mint and the indigo, and I knit one. And it took me a lot less than 24 hours, and I knit it as a time trial vlog style, and that video is now available on my Patreon for my $5 subscribers, and yeah, it was quite fun, I'm not gonna lie, for me to do. But yeah, I now have a finished sweater in a week. I know that I always love to see people's floats, so there's my floats. It's not been blocked. I will block it, I think, at some point, or either that or I might just wash it, like stick it in the machine and see what happens, because I'll put it on a wool wash, but it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool, this yarn, and I've washed this in the machine before and had no issues. So yeah, a little sweater, and there is loads of yarn left. They are 50-gram balls for this yarn, and this one I don't think I've even used 5 grams of this ball. Well, one of these balls I used just over half to make a beloved bonnet by Tin Can Knits, and so I easily have enough for one of those, probably enough for 2, but I'm thinking I might do the cords, the ties on the bonnet in the mint, and then the body in the indigo, so that I can have a little matching beloved bonnet that goes with this sweater for my baby. So that's going to go on the pile, and along with some lovely little bits that my friends have knit for my baby. Anyway, so that's the finished objects out of the way. That's the finished objects done. Next thing, I have a hoe. It is a tube sock. It's not destined to be a tube sock forever. It's going to a friend of mine who's very special to me, and I will give it to this person with yarn for a heel, and they can cut in their own heels. It should be big enough because I have big size 7 clompers, and I would cut my heel in here, so that should give them a good amount up the leg, I think. Well, fingers crossed. They're getting free socks, I know they'd appreciate it, whatever. This is the person these are going to is like the most gracious, lovely person ever. So, one tube sock done. I am working on the second one. So we're here. I won't put progress keeper in because I'm not sure I'm gonna show them again on the podcast. We'll see. But yeah, I'm hoping to finish these this week. And I showed them last week. Again, it's all the way over there. Oh, bingo wings. It's all the way over there. But I have another skein of this and this. Matching. I bought 2 sock sets originally, really early on in the year, I think. I don't think it was last year, I think it was really early on this year. And I was going to put them into a garment, and I didn't. And then I decided there is nothing more perfect than this to do socks for myself and my friend to match. So once I have finished these, I will ball up the other sock set to eventually cast on a pair for me, and I think if I do them straight away I will have more motivation to get them done than if I leave it for a while. So I'm going to try and get that done. But this yarn is so gorgeous. It's a sock set. It is the Winter Solstice sock set from Lay Family Yarn. So there's the ball band, and it is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 100 grams of the main colour and 20 grams of the contrast colour. And I absolutely love this. Now, when I look at it, really, it is grey. I'd say grey. But there are so many other colours in here that, like, can you see the sweat on my face? It's so hot in here, and I've had to turn the fan off because it's loud, it's awful, it's awful. When I gift these to the person I'm gifting them to, she's going to be like, oh thanks, those are the socks you knit on when you were really sweaty, I'll have to wash them before I touch them. Maybe I'll give them to her in a plastic bag. Anyway, there is so much in the other colours in here. There is like a purple, like a blackberry colour, there are blues, there are turquoises, like, now I can hear people in the street outside because my window's open, but I can't shut the windows, I will actually die of heat. Like, oh, it's like an oven in here. Can you hear them? One of them just snorted like a pig. Anyway, so one tube sock done, we're on the way. So that's first whip of the week, and that is living in this bag that everything has been living in recently. Like, this has been going everywhere with me. This is the Tatty Designs bag, and it's a mermaid, like, it's meant to be, I think, the Neverland Peter Pan island. So everything's been living in there. It's been my little handbag for the week. Like, literally, my debit card's in here. I've got lavender because the lavender obsession hasn't ended, and I need a lavender sachet in every single bag. There's a pen, there's my notions pouch, like, everything is in that bag. Okay, on to the next whip. Okay, I have actually got a whip that I haven't brought up with me, and that is the shawl, my Road to Perth shawl that I'm knitting out of Brambles and Me yarn. I've forgotten it, I've left it downstairs, but it hasn't had a mammoth amount of work on it because I did the sweater. I kind of would love to have it finished by next week. I don't know if that is wishful thinking. I would like to have so much done on it that it is, like, so close to being finished at least. Anyway, next whip. My Cozy Memories blanket. I still can't believe I haven't given up on this yet. But I have added 3 squares this week. I could have probably done more, but there were only 3 days this whole week where I was able to do it before I came downstairs in the morning, and I decided to work on other things rather than putting more squares on, because 3 is my minimum a week that I want to do, so as long as I hit that, it's fine. So the first one here is in this lovely, this colourway is Road Trip by Ducky Darlings, and this Progress Keeper is backwards, but yeah, which is gorgeous. I knit a pair of socks in these, which is in my sock box. And then I had some other blue yarn that I wanted to add in, but I thought, oh, I'm not going to add that in just yet because I had this space to do and this space to do, and this is blue, this Brambles and Me is blue, and I was like, I don't want to put a blue next to another blue when I have other yarns. So I used my West Yorkshire spinners as soon as I cast off my socks, and I put in a lovely rainbowy square here. I'm sure it's from Paradise, but I had like a scrap where I wound off a load of yarn after the first sock to get back to the start of the repeat so that I could start the next sock. So I used all that, and that got me down to here where the pink just turns purple, and then I ran out, so I had to add on a little bit of blue, so it's not the proper repeat all the way through. And then I didn't want a blue one here, so I went into my big vase that has scraps and bits left over. Last year I was very kindly gifted some scraps, because I had like barely any sort of scraps at that point to go into a Cozy Memories blanket. I was really kindly gifted some in the Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted, and then I also did an advent calendar with, I did a swap, the Lay Family Yarn swap, and I got Jane of Family Tree Yarns, and then I made such good friends with Jane, and she supplied me with some minis for a design. She gave me some minis for my Champion Socks design. So this is one of the minis left over from that. There. So those are my additions to the Cozy Memories. So another 3 squares hopefully this week, and I can put a blue one in here now, and feel quite good about that, I think. But yeah, I'm loving it so far. I'm loving it so far. It's very slow growing, but that is fine. This one is for me, it's not for anyone else. So it's going to be big eventually. 3 squares a week. Pace myself. 3 squares a week. And that is living in my gorgeous, gorgeous Busy Pottering bag that I showed last week as part of my stash enhancement. It is this amazing bag with this amazing pattern matching. You can see the line down there, from Busy Pottering, and I absolutely love it. It is my blanket bag. And that is all of my whips. I'm ploughing through because I'm really knackered and I'm really hot. So on to stash enhancement. I didn't actually think there was going to be any stash enhancement this week at all, but I had some money come back to me that I wasn't expecting, just a very small amount of money. But when I get a very small amount of money, I have a few go-to sellers that usually have something that I can buy with that small amount. So Jibby Rousseau's is one of them, and another one is So Beautiful by Nicola. Amazing project bags that are incredibly affordable. I do not mind paying more for my project bags, and I totally understand that they are worth more. I think it is fabulous that there are people out there who are able to sell them for prices that I can afford when I only have a small amount of money in my purse. I also think it is totally worth it when people sell them for a lot more, because I know what sort of labour goes into it, I know what materials cost. I haven't got an issue either way. But if someone is selling an absolute bargain and it's beautiful and that's all the money I have right now, I will give it to them. So I bought this from my friend Nicola, who runs So Beautiful by Nicola. It's Etsy shop. Go check it out because she has some fabulous project bags. But this is a large project bag. It's pretty creased because it's been tucked down the side of the bed while I was waiting to come and see you. But now it's going to go into use. So this is a large project bag, and it is a flamingo bag, and it is so beautiful, and I absolutely love it. It has ribbon drawstrings and a handle on the side. Every time I have had this bag out where Ellie can see it, there's flamingos at the wildlife park that we have tickets to, that is just around the corner, that we go season ticket holders, and every time she sees this bag she goes, "Flamingos, stand like a flamingo," and runs to a wall, puts her hand on the wall so she can balance, and lifts her leg in the air. So that's been quite fun. But yeah, this was only £15, so it was a real bargain for such a big bag, and it really can fit a big project in there. But as I said, Nicola is my friend and she watches the podcast. She sent me a lovely set of progress keepers, which is brilliant because I don't know where all my progress keepers have gone. I need to dig them out. I know I gave a few away on giveaways and stuff, but I seriously am struggling for them, and I want to do more squares on my Cozy Memories blanket, but I don't have that many progress keepers hanging around. Well, she sent me this set, which I haven't taken out of the plastic yet, of progress keepers, and there is a moon and star, a pumpkin, a feather and a heart. So they're really lovely, and a couple of them have also got that big loop. So they come with like the progress keeper and then a big loop and then something pretty, so you can use that as a stitch marker or a progress keeper. I know that's going to be an awful picture because it's in the plastic. And then she also sent me, in here is a little bag of lavender, and I'm still so addicted, and this lavender smells different again from all of the other ones, which I love, absolutely love, but it's obviously the different types of lavender and like how long they've been dried for, or how they've been dried, I have no idea. But basically she's amazing. I love lavender so much. It's become like a craving for me. This pregnancy, it's so weird. I have 3 cravings. One's a food, one's a drink, and one's a smell. So the smell of, like, all smells seem amazing to me right now, or absolutely disgusting, but not many of them seem disgusting. But the smell that I love the most is lavender, and I'm just taking, I've got a lavender sachet in every bag, and I am pulling that out and just inhaling constantly. Like, I need lavender everywhere. I need lavender everywhere. I've got a lot of project bags. I need a lot of lavender sachets. But I am just literally just sniffing lavender all the time. And then to eat, it's carrot and coriander soup. Heinz, out of a tin. I don't know what is going on with me. Carrot and coriander soup. I should be past the stage of cravings, right? I thought cravings were like the first 12 weeks. but it's all I want to eat. Don't know what's going on. I had it for breakfast this morning because it got quite late, and I was like, Chris kept going, what do you want? And I was like, I don't know. Carrot and coriander soup. And he was like, for breakfast? And I was like, it's all I want. If I'm not having that, I don't really want anything. And then to drink is my chocolate milk, but it has to be it has to be supermarket brand chocolate milk. Can't be like Yazoo or any like that. I can cope with the fridge brand, but I like just Tesco or Asda, the big bottles, and it has to be in a plastic bottle. If I tip it into a glass, it tastes funny. If I tip it into, I have a metal bottle, drinking bottle, and I took that out with me with some in, thinking that'll be good because then that'll keep it colder for longer. It tastes funny. It has to be out of the plastic bottle. I can't decant it into anything else because it tastes funny. And it's like I need the texture of the plastic bottle, to tip it into my mouth for me to like the taste. So weird. So weird. Marginally better than when I had Ellie, when I was eating 2 punnets of strawberries a day, sometimes 3. And they weren't just the normal size punnets, it was when Tesco did the big giant punnets, like 2 or 3 of those a day. Never had an issue going to the toilet. Anyway, so I bought this from Nicola. Whoa, way off topic, apologies. I bought this from Nicola. She sent me a lavender sachet and some Progress Keepers as a gift. And then something else as well, and I nearly cried. This is hand spun. Hand spun. I love hand spun more than I can even begin to explain, but I don't spin. But hand spun to me is the most precious thing in like forever. I want to knit I'm thinking Susan B. Anderson, she has a little bunny rabbit. I knit a bunch at Easter for my daughter and her friends, and I'm thinking I'm going to knit one for my little boy out of this yarn. It's so gorgeous. It's got pinks and purples and blues and greens and orange. It's so gorgeous, and it's merino, and I love it so much. It's so beautiful. And she said to me, it's so beautiful, by Nicola. And she said to me that I could keep it or give away, and I'm really sorry guys, I cannot give this away. It's hand spun. She made it. She spent hours working on this, and then she sent it to me. So I'm sorry, I'm keeping it. It's just too precious. It's too precious for me to give it away. I can't. Maybe when my spinner comes, my e-spinner comes, maybe I will at some point, when my spinning is good enough, spin some yarn and give it away to you guys as a bit of a sorry for that time when I couldn't share my hand spun with you because it was too pretty. But yeah, I got hand spun this week. This is the second time in my life that I have been gifted hand spun. I was also gifted hand spun by Mina of the Knitting Expat. I sent her a couple of my braids, I can't remember, bits of fibre that I definitely wasn't going to spin when I was getting rid of my spinning stuff, and she rescued them because I was going to throw them away otherwise, and one of them she spun up and sent back to me, and I'm going to use that one because it's not the softest fibre. What she's done with it is absolutely beautiful, but the fibre itself is I can't remember what it is. Can't remember. But I'm thinking I might make some sort of crocheted like bag, little like shopper. I think that would be quite fun. But so twice in my life I've been gifted hand spun, and both I can't bear to give them away to anyone else, and I feel like a little bit of me doesn't want to knit with them because they're too special. But I'm trying not to do that this year. I'm trying to pull out of stash and knit a lot of those vanilla socks and do a lot of things this year that I normally wouldn't do because it's too special. That's ridiculous. I need to use them because they are so special. Anyway, so yeah, I got hand spun. Epic. I'm so happy. I'm so chuffed. So thank you so much, Nicola. So I think that is everything yarny that I was going to talk about this week. So, other things to talk about. I've replied to quite a few of the comments that have come up recently on the podcast. I definitely went through a bad patch of not replying to comments because I didn't get notifications about them, but I have been starting to get some notifications and then actually checking the videos like a good podcaster. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I will get back to you. But I know I've had a few comments. Why am I umming? A few comments so far this week that I haven't got back to. That's just because I've been crazy busy. But I will get back to you all. Though I swear I read one. I haven't replied to it yet, so I might not have read it right. But someone said that I reminded them of Mary Poppins. It might have just been the accent that they were saying. Because seriously, if you could see my house, you definitely would not make that comparison. I do sing a lot. And I have some giant handbags. So, you know. But that's pretty much where it stops. I look really good in a good hat. I can do a hat. Mary Poppins had a hat, right? And I have like 50 umbrellas. None of them are magical and let me fly. And I can never find one of them when it's actually raining. There we go. I wish. Yeah, little week recap. I've been on holiday this week. I didn't work Monday or Tuesday or Saturday this week. Very lucky girl me. I am working Tuesday and Saturday next week though, but tomorrow is Monday. Bank holiday Monday. So no work tomorrow. Yay. And I have potty trained this week. I think I've cracked it. So the week before last, I started to potty train, but only because she was asking to wear her knickers. So she's 2, my daughter Ellie is 2. And so I started potty training, but she wasn't really into it, and we didn't really do the sticker chart properly. And I was like, I'm waiting until I'm on holiday, and yeah. Monday this week, we drew out a proper sticker chart and started working on, I bought a load of posh stickers, really nice stickers from the range, and was like, these are mummy's special stickers, and you can only have one if you do a wee wee or a poo poo on the potty. And she is really motivated by rewards and stickers are a major reward. But I also told her that she asked me to begin with. She said, can I have a fairy princess Peppa Pig? I hate Peppa Pig. I've always hated Peppa Pig, but seriously, this pig is helping me potty train my kid. I will take the pig. But yeah, she wanted the fairy princess Peppa Pig that we saw in Home Bargains. And I told her that if she was a really good girl and tried really hard on her potty training this week and got lots of stickers, then we could do it. I was gonna get her the Peppa Pig whatever happened, because if potty training failed, I didn't want her to feel like that she was a failure in any way, or that she lost out. Like, that's not fair. She's 2 and she can try her absolute hardest, or you know, like, she's 2. I'm not going to punish my 2-year-old. If she's not ready, then she's not ready, and we'll try again in December, or whenever she wants to try again. But it's really worked this week, and I know you can get regression with potty training and all sorts, so you never know, it might not work for long. But this week she has done so well. Today we've had no accidents whatsoever, and she has told me when she needed the potty every time. And yesterday and the day before we had 1 accident a day, and yeah, she has now got to the stage of telling me every time she wants to go to the potty, and yeah, it's going really well. I'm really proud of her. And today we've been out all day as well, so I thought we would fail today because we've been in most of the week and just in the house and the gardens, and then the garden, and this week and then today we went to the dinosaur park, and then we went out for a meal, and I was like, how are we going to do this? This is the first time she's been out, like proper out, all day, and she aced it. I was blown away. Going to the toilet in the restaurant did become a bit of a game, because I took her quite a few times to the ladies, and then Chris took her to the gents. She was using her fold out potty, but yeah, I took her to the gents. He took her to the gents, and then the gents, she thought that was amazing. She just wanted to go back over and over again. She just kept saying, I need a wee. She didn't need a wee, she just wanted to look in the toilets. Which he said were disgusting, so I was kind of not great with that game. But it stopped eventually. So yeah, tomorrow, because she filled up her sticker chart this week and did so well, we are going to Home Bargains and getting the Fairy Princess Peppa Pig as her reward, which I don't have an issue with at all. So that's tomorrow, that's this week. Potty training, bit of knitting, not tons done. It's got hot again, I'm boiling. You can practically see the like shine on my face where I am sweaty. It's awful, it's awful. Like, I feel so bad for people who are proper big pregnant now. Like, if I was 40 weeks now, ugh, I think I would get my, I know what I would do. I have these garden chairs, like loungers, you know, like those, they're like made out of a mesh, and they recline all the way back. I would get one of those in my living room because it's too hot to sit on the sofa, and I would put one of those in the living room, put myself laying fully back. I would get ice packs out of the freezer and just put one on my forehead and one on my wrists and my ankles, and a cold wet flannel and a big bucket of ice next to me to dip the flannel in, and then a fan on me. I want to do that now, and I'm only halfway there. It better get cold soon. Like, seriously, this is why I live in England, because I like naff weather. I never moan. I never moan when it rains. I never moan when it's freezing. I never moan when it snows. I love cold weather. I hate hot weather. I don't live in England for hot weather. Get cold. That's what I feel like saying most days anyway. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to talk about tonight. I have watched my usual podcasts and a few others, but my brain is dead. So I always watch Katie of Geordie Knits, Emma and Rosie of the Harrow Sheep, and Sharon of the SCR1TNO podcast. I have watched a few others. I have been sorry, I've got really bad heartburn, so I'm going to swallow loads. I have watched absolutely tons of Sharon because she has been doing August vlogs and they are fabulous. Go and check her out. And yeah, I think that's everything that I was going to say this week. We're nearly at 50 minutes, that's not bad for me. Especially as the last, 20 minutes I've just blabbed on about things that are definitely not knitting. But yeah, if you've stuck with me all the way to the end, thank you so much. And as always, thank you so much for making me so much less of a lonely knitter.